Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something I think is super relevant for you based on the material you sent over. Mastering self-belief.
Mm.
Specifically, yeah, in the world of sales. But when we say sales, it's broader, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's not just about, closing big deals. It's about believing in your ideas when you pitch them.
Right, valuing what you bring to the table.
Exactly. Having that conviction to actually make a difference, whatever you're doing.
So our mission here for you is to really pull out the key insights on how building that self-belief can be, well, maybe your most powerful tool.
It really can be. And to make this concrete, we're going to look at this entrepreneur, Alex. His story is quite something.
The one who went from struggling.
Yeah, struggling with self-doubt big time, especially in sales, to achieving, well, pretty significant financial success. It just highlights the impact.
And we're also looking at folks like Grant Cardone. His book, Sell or Be Sold, came up in your notes.
Yes, precisely. Because Cardone really hammers home this idea that sales is fundamental to, well, almost everything in life.
And to sell effectively, you need that belief.
Absolutely essential. You can see in Cardone's stuff, he has this very hard-hitting, almost obsessive approach.
Unwavering conviction, you could say.
That's a good way to put it. Operating with total certainty.
Okay, so let's unpack that foundation. Self-belief in sales. It's not just positive thinking, is it? What's the core?
No, it's deeper than that. At its heart, it's genuinely believing in the value of what you offer.
And in your own ability to help people with it.
Critically, yes.
Yeah.
Your ability to deliver that value, think about it from your perspective. If you weren't truly sold on a solution.
How could you possibly convince someone else?
Right. It wouldn't feel authentic, but when you do have that genuine belief, that care, that conviction, it just comes across differently. People sense it.
Yeah, it's like trying to recommend a movie you secretly thought was terrible. Your face gives it away.
Exactly. The enthusiasm just isn't there.
And you mentioned Cardone's approach again, that energy.
Yes, and he really stresses that the passion, the energy in how you communicate, it flows directly from that core belief.
So if you're totally sold.
Then that conviction becomes infectious. It's about operating from that place of certainty we mentioned.
Okay, so when that belief is strong, what are the actual upsides for you? What good things happen?
Well, there are several big ones, and they often, build on each other. First off, increased trust.
Confidence is contagious.
When it's genuine, absolutely. People can pick up on whether you truly believe in what you're saying.
And that authenticity builds trust. Makes sense.
Yeah, they feel you're acting in their best interest because you believe this solution helps them. It leads to a better buying experience overall. You've probably felt that yourself.
Definitely. That trust factor is huge.
Right.
Okay, what's another big benefit?
Resilience. This is a big one, especially when things get tough.
Sales involves rejection. Right. You hear no.
A lot. So self-belief acts like a buffer. It stops you from getting completely discouraged.
It keeps you going.
Exactly. It fuels that persistence. You learn, you adapt, you keep looking for the right fit, the people who will benefit.
Is that related to Cardone's massive action idea you flagged?
Very much so. The idea is that consistent effort, but effort rooted in that solid self-belief, that's what gets results eventually.
Interesting. So belief powers the action, which gets results, which probably boosts belief again.
It can become a really positive cycle, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just about getting the yes, it's handling the no's. What's a third advantage?
The third one is about value perception, both yours and theirs.
How so?
If you genuinely believe your product or service is worth X, you're much more likely to ask for X.
Instead of immediately caving on price.
Right. You resist undervaluing your offering because you believe in its worth. Cardone actually gives an example, I think, about selling a house.
Where his belief helped get a higher price.
Something like that, yeah. His conviction in its value influenced the negotiation. Your belief directly shapes how you communicate that value.
Okay, those are really strong arguments for building self-belief, but thinking about that Cardone intensity, can it go too far? Can you have too much belief?
Oh, absolutely. It's a crucial balance. Self-belief is vital, but tip it over into arrogance or overconfidence, and it backfires.
How? What's the first risk?
Ignoring feedback. This is the big one you might even recognize. If you're so convinced you're perfect.
You dismiss criticism, even helpful criticism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You shut down valuable input from customers or colleagues that could actually help you improve things for everyone.
Right, you become kind of blind to your own blind spots. What's another danger?
Coming across as pushy or just not listening.
The hard sell that feels icky.
Yeah. Overconfidence without empathy can lead to aggressive tactics that just steamroll the other person's actual needs or concerns.
And people hate feeling pressured.
Generally, yes. They want solutions, positive interactions. Being overly aggressive damages trust in relationships.
So conviction, yes. Steamrolling, no. There's a line there. What's the third risk of being overconfident?
Losing touch with reality. Basically, when your belief isn't grounded in, well, facts.
Like thinking something is worth $1,000,000 when it's clearly broken.
Kind of, yeah. Unfounded belief leads to unrealistic expectations, setting yourself up for failure, making poor decisions based on wishful thinking rather than actual value or market conditions.
That makes total sense.
So keeping it grounded is key. This balance is really important, I think, for you as you think about applying this. Let's bring Alex back in. His story seems to illustrate this journey. What were his early struggles like? The lack of belief phase.
Right, so Alex started his business educational online games.
Okay.
But initially, he just wanted just hard. He didn't really see anything special in them himself.
That lack of internal belief was the core problem.
And how did that show up when he tried to, sell them?
Oh, it showed up clearly. His voice would be shaky, no real energy or excitement about what the games could do.
You could probably hear the doubt.
Totally. And the moment a potential customer hesitated, he jumped to lowering the price.
Oof, signaling he didn't value it much himself.
Exactly. Which, unsurprisingly, led to really poor sales. And the poor results just confirmed his own doubts.
A vicious cycle.
A classic one. He mentioned taking normal levels of action, but because it wasn't powered by belief.
It didn't get him anywhere.
Pretty much. And that made him even more scared to try again, fearing more failure. He hadn't grasped just how critical believing in his own product was.
So it wasn't about just working harder necessarily. What changed? What was the turning point for Alex?
He stumbled across some ideas about sales, and one really hit him hard. The concept that only to the degree to which you're sold can you sell.
Ah, you have to bite yourself first.
That was the light bulb moment. He realized, how could he expect anyone else to get excited if he wasn't genuinely convinced they were valuable, that they could actually help kids?
Makes sense. So what did he do then? How did he build that belief?
He consciously decided to re-engage with his own product, played the games, looked at them fresh.
Try to see the value.
Trying to see them through a kid's eyes, yeah. And he started to genuinely see the fun, the educational aspect. He actively worked on, selling himself on his own games.
Focusing on the good stuff.
Focusing on the benefits, the positive impact. And then he came across the 10X rule.
The Cardone again? Big goals, right?
Often, yeah. But Alex interpreted it slightly differently at first. He saw it as needing not just 10 times the action, but also 10 times the belief in his product.
Ah, amplifying the conviction itself.
Exactly. He realized the effort needed to be matched by a much, much stronger internal belief to get different results. That mindset shift was huge.
Okay, so Alex starts building this internal belief. How did that change things inside his company, the internal vibe?
Oh, the ripple effect was pretty significant internally. It really shifted the whole environment.
Like how?
Well, first, product development. Because he now genuinely believed the games were great, he started investing more time, resources to make them even better.
Driven by actual belief, not just obligation.
All right. And second, team motivation. His newfound enthusiasm was infectious. His small team got more passionate, more committed.
Belief spreads.
It really does. He also started setting bigger, bolder goals for the company because he actually believed they could hit them now.
Not just wishful thinking anymore.
Exactly. And when problems came up, which they always do,
His approach had changed.
yeah, he became more positive, more resourceful, more willing to, correct himself, take ownership, find solutions instead of getting bogged down.
Interesting. And innovation.
That too. Believing in the potential sparked more creativity, new ideas for games, new features. It fueled innovation.
Wow, quite a shift internally. What about externally? How did this new confidence change how he dealt with customers, the market?
The external changes were just as dramatic and really drove the success. His customer interactions totally transformed.
How so? More confident.
Way more confident,
Okay.
yeah, and enthusiastic. He could clearly explain the benefits, answer questions with certainty, with real conviction.
People probably responded differently.
Definitely. He started really leaning into that idea of always agree with the customer, not in a fake way, but finding common ground to build rapport.
Okay. What else changed? Marketing. Presentations.
His marketing got stronger, more persuasive, because it reflected his genuine belief. His sales presentations weren't just informative, They actually generated excitement.
He could convey the value better.
Much better. It was like he was doing that double dollar demonstration. Cardone talks about showing the value far exceeds the price.
Making the price seem less important.
Exactly. Which leads to handling objections. He could address doubts confidently because he truly understood and believed in the product's worth.
Operating from that belief that price is never the real issue.
If the value is clear and you believe in it, yeah, that was his new perspective. And finally, partnerships.
People wanted to work with him more.
Yeah, potential partners, collaborators, they were drawn to his strong belief, his clear mission. Conviction is attractive.
So it really seems Alex's story pulls it all together. That internal shift in belief had massive external consequences.
Absolutely. His journey, especially when you see it alongside principles like Cardone's about the importance of being sold yourself,
Yeah.
it really drives home the point for you.
That self-belief isn't just nice to have.
It's foundational. It's a driver of success, not just in formal sales roles, but in pretty much anything you're trying to achieve where you need to convince or influence someone, including yourself.
Right. So for you, listening now, wanting to build this kind of self-belief,
Yeah.
what are some practical steps, things you can start doing based on Alex, Cardone, all this?
Okay, few key things. First, know your stuff, inside and out. The deeper your understanding of whatever you're offering or pursuing.
The more confident you'll naturally feel. Makes sense.
Exactly. Second, focus on the good. Actively direct your attention to the positive aspects, the benefits, the value. Make that your dominant thought pattern about it.
Don't dwell on the flaws.
Acknowledge them to improve, but focus your energy and communication on the strengths. Third, practice makes perfect.
Practice what? Pitching.
Practice articulating the value, explaining the benefits. Out loud, even to yourself. Repetition builds comfort, fluency, and that internal conviction.
Gets it ingrained. Okay, fourth.
Don't let no stop you. Remember resilience. When you hit setbacks, rejection. If you truly believe, you persist.
Back to that massive action idea. Keep going.
Keep going, fueled by belief. And finally, number 5, be proud of what you do.
Own it.
Yeah. Take genuine pride in your work, the value you create, the effort you put in. Cardone says, be positively proud. Own your contribution.
That's really solid, practical advice for you to take away. It really frames self-belief not as some magic quality, but as a skill.
Something you can actively cultivate and strengthen over time.
And like Alex showed, developing that skill can seriously unlock your potential. It really makes you think, doesn't it? How much is my own conviction affecting my results right now?
A powerful question to reflect on.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us today. Maybe just consider how really, truly believing in the value you bring could be the next big lever for you to pull. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something I think is super relevant for you based on the material you sent over. Mastering self-belief. Specifically, yeah, in the world of sales. But when we say sales, it's broader, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's not just about, closing big deals. It's about believing in your ideas when you pitch them.
Right, valuing what you bring to the table.
Exactly. Having that conviction to actually make a difference, whatever you're doing.
So our mission here for you is to really pull out the key insights on how building that self-belief can be, well, maybe your most powerful tool.
It really can be. And to make this concrete, we're going to look at this entrepreneur, Alex. His story is quite something.
The one who went from